From the beginning, Rome, the center of the Roman Empire and the capital of Italy, has been considered the episcopal see of St. Peter and the center of the communion of all the churches throughout the world. The title holder of the See of Rome is the successor of St. Peter, who is also recognized as having a primacy of jurisdiction over the whole church. A significant number of territories on the Italian peninsula were given to the church, especially from the time Constantine became the emperor of East and West, and from the mid-8th century these territories began to depict themselves as a patrimonial unit under the auspices of the Pope, the Bishop of Rome. At the same time, the temporal power of the Pope, which was a functional instrument of the independence of his spiritual duty, was also strengthened and consolidated in the early Middle Ages. As the title holder of the Roman See and the successor of the Apostle Peter, the Pope also received honors and possessions from authorities and private individuals for the dignity of the Church, for the sustenance of worship, and works of charity. Furthermore, territories in Avignon, France were added to the series of these papal territories in the 14th century, when the Pope's residence was established there. These territories, under the authority of the Pope, were known as St. Peter's lands, Patrimonium Sancti Petri, and later as the Papal States. From 1309 to 1376, 7 successive popes resided in Avignon. The Avignon territories were surrendered to France in 1797 after the signing of the Tolentino Treaty. A political conflict arose between the nascent Italian kingdom and the Holy See in 1861, after the unification of the various states on the Italian peninsula under the House of Savoy. The city of Rome was captured in 1870 by Italian troops who took over the Papal States, thereby forcing the Pope to confine himself to Vatican City. With his encyclical letter Respicientes Ea of November 1, 1870, Pope Pius IX condemned this with all his strength and denounced the criminal procedures followed by the government of the Kingdom of Italy in the previous decade, which had occupied distinct parts of the Papal States, causing riots and manipulating popular referendums to stimulate a spontaneous adhesion of the population. In the end, the conflict between the Holy See and Italy was resolved through 2 documents that constitute the Lateran Accords, which have been in force since then. The first one was the Lateran Treaty, which established the Vatican City State. It was signed on February 11, 1929, and ratified on June 7, 1929, thus marking the end of the so-called Roman question. The second document was the Concordat, which regulates the position and activity of the Church in Italy. The first attempt to resolve this conflict before the emergence of the Lateran Accords was the promulgation of the Law of Guarantees on May 13, 1871, a decision made unilaterally by the Italian government.